This video is meant for educational purpose and not stock recommendation. Today, we are going to explore National Beverage, listed in US and has strong presence in US and Canada. This is the company's website. Obviously, the company is selling beverages. According to the website, National Beverage Corporation innovatively refreshes America with a distinctive portfolio of sparkling waters, juices, energy drinks, Power Plus brands, and, to a lesser extent, carbonated soft drinks. They believe their creative product designs, innovative packaging, and imaginative flavors, along with their corporate culture and philosophy, make National Beverage unique as a standalone entity in the beverage industry. These are the brands under the company. Does it seem to be familiar to you? This is the company's year 2021 shareholder letter. This is another company that does well in COVID-19 pandemic, while other business are suffering. It is said in the shareholders letter that, although 2021 brought unprecedented challenges, year 2021 financial results were the best ever. Net sales were $1.1 billion, net cash provided by operations was $194 million and basic earnings per share was $1.87, all new highs. In addition, they rewarded shareholders with a 100% stock dividend and a record $280 million cash dividend. This is the year 2021 annual report. This report highlights the risk of the business. Let's look at competition risk. While a LaCroix sparkling water is the brand of choice as the #1 premium domestic sparkling water throughout the United States, the beverage industry is highly competitive and the competitive position may vary by market area. So, two important points here. Number 1, the sparkling water product is the #1 in US. Number 2, the beverage industry is highly competitive. This explains that the company has a strong product presence for the sparkling water category. The annual report further explains that, several competitors, including those that dominate the beverage industry, such as Nestlé, PepsiCo and the Coca-Cola Company, have greater financial resources than we have and aggressive promotion of their products may adversely affect sales of the brands. This is the company's latest quarterly result released in December 2021. Let's look at their latest performance. Net sales for the second quarter of fiscal 2022 increased 4.2% to $283.2 million. The increase in sales resulted primarily from a 4% increase in average selling price per case and a modest increase in case volume, primarily Power Plus brands. Important point here is, the company managed to increase the average selling price of the drink by 4%. Increasing price is important, because there is inflation now, things are getting more expensive nowadays with supply chain disruption. This shows the company managed to increase the selling price and consumers still buy the product. Gross profit for the second quarter of fiscal 2022 decreased to $101.5 million. The decrease in gross profit is due to increased packaging, ingredients and freight costs along with supply chain disruptions, which adversely affected manufacturing efficiencies. These cost increases were partially offset by the increase in average selling price. Selling, general and administrative expenses for the second quarter of fiscal 2022 increased $3.5 million to $49.9 million. The increase was primarily due to an increase in shipping and marketing costs partially offset by a decrease in administrative costs. It shows one thing, costs are increasing, even though the company increased the average selling price, but costs are still increasing. Foreseeable that costs may not go down anytime soon. I believe that's the reason why the stock price of this company is now lowest for the past 1 year, as the investors have concern on the increasing cost of the products and the increase of selling price cannot cover the increased cost. Nevertheless, the company still paid a special dividend of $3 early December 2021. This shows the directors of the company has confidence about this company's growth and cash flow position. This is the key financial ratio analysis of National Beverage for 10 years. You can see that the gross margin is maintained at above 35% for 10 years. For operating margin, it has been above 10% for past 10 years. The overall trend for operating margin is increasing. Net income for past 10 years have been increasing, overall as an upward trend, which is good sign. Earnings per share for past 10 years also have been increasing and overall is an upward trend. Let's look at cash flow of National Beverage for past 10 years. As you can see the chart, overall the operating cash flow is increasing. Free cash flow also increasing for past 10 years. For net margin, generally the trend is increasing. With the recent year 2021 net margin stood at 16%. For return on asset, it remained stable for 4 years and increased for 2 years. Then it dropped again for 2 years. In year 2021, the return on asset increased again. For return on equity, it is like roller coaster for past 10 years, a bit unstable. However, it is still above 30%. For debt to equity, it is decreasing and has been no debt for 4 years, and for past 2 years, their debt to equity is almost 0.1. Previously, National Beverage mentioned that their competitors are Pepsi, Coca-Cola, so, let's make a comparison among the 3 companies and see how National Beverage perform among the competitors. In terms of profitability, let's look at net income. As you can see here, Pepsi and Coca-Cola net income are in billions, National Beverage is just millions. This shows that National Beverage is a smaller company compared to other 2 companies. For EPS, earnings per share, National Beverage is the lowest, only 1.8, but almost same as Coca-Cola, which is 2. But, is far lower than Pepsi, which is 5.87. For net margin, National Beverage ranks second among the 3 companies, which is 15%, not too bad. For return on equity, National Beverage is almost same as Coca-Cola, which is 44%, which is good, as National Beverage is a smaller company, yet the return on equity is high like Coca-Cola. For return on asset, surprisingly, National Beverage has the highest return on asset compared to the other big players. This shows that, generally National Beverage is financial sound and overall, fare well compared to other 2 big companies. Let's look at debt of the companies. Debt to equity. You can see here, for National Beverage is not applicable. This means, the company has no debt, compared to other 2 big players, which has debt. No debt sounds better, right? Next, let's look at insider ownership. This means, whether the directors or senior management hold the company shares. National Beverage has very high insider ownership, 75%. We can interpret in a way that, the insiders who work for National Beverage are very confident of the company, that's why they hold the shares. Isn't that it sounds good that National Beverage is a steady company that we may invest in? This is the share price of the National Beverage, as of January 26, 2022. The price was $43.48. As you can see here, the 52 weeks range is 41.62 to 98.21. Therefore, the share price now is almost at the lower level. However, be aware that Mr. Market is emotional and the share price may drop further. So, please do your own due diligence before investing in this company. Hope that you will like this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. See you in next video.